Hey y'all, thanks for coming back to watch another video. This video I'm telling a story about the Trailerhood scooter bandit. So if you'll stick through the intro, we'll get this story going. Let's go.
Out in the backwoods, mean as a bear, 2 rows of teeth and 4 layers of hair. Roaming these mountains where the tall pines sway, living God's country every single day. Camping, hunting, trapping too, archery and telling story through and through. Cast iron belly, armor of God, let's go, glory to God.
Alright y'all, thanks for sticking through the intro. So, this story happens back when I lived in Ozark, in the Trailerhood in Ozark. Now, I lived there for almost 20 years, maybe a little over. I'm not exactly sure about that. Give or take, 20 years, give or take, okay? So, when I first moved there, my son, he was only 3. And our neighbor, one of our neighbors, had some kids, and they had a little boy that was 5. Now, I didn't know any of the neighbors yet, and the way I ended up meeting these neighbors is not how you would normally meet neighbors. So I come home from work one day. I'm pulling into the hood. So I lived second trailer to the end of basically a dead end. It was a turnaround spot. We had a basketball goal down there and all that stuff, right? And got stories about that too. But anyways, the last trailer was right basically by the basketball court, basketball goal turnaround spot. And when I'm pulling into my driveway, I see this little bitty kid, little blonde-headed kid, wearing a diaper. I could tell he was 4 or 5. And he's out there running around, and there's this other fella, which was like obviously in his early 20s. I was thinking 19 to 22, something like that. And he's chasing this kid around, smacking him, knocking him on the ground, pushing him down. This little kid's crying. I mean, he's being rough on him, right? So at first I was like, well, I don't know what's going on, but I'm definitely going to get out and walk over there and, you know, openly watch what's happening. I want this guy to see what I'm watching him. I'm trying to figure out if he's hurting this little kid or not, right? Well, by the time I get out of the truck and get over there, the little boy, he's running towards his door, and the person chasing him had, I believe, a wiffle ball bat or something like that, and he hits him with it. And as soon as he hits him with it, I was like, hey, dude, what are you doing, man? What's going on? Who are you? What's going on? Why are you hitting that little kid? Well, that's my little brother. I can hit him with this wiffle ball bat if I want. I said, no. No, I said, that's a baby. He's just a little bitty guy. I said, you don't need to be hitting him with that wiffle ball bat. I said, how about I come over there and take that wiffle ball bat and beat you down with that wiffle ball bat? Well, why don't you try it? Man, I had it over there. So, I mean, beeline it straight to him, man. I'm heading towards him. I'm like, all right, boy. I said, I'm fixing to teach you something they don't teach in Sunday school or public school. You're fixing to get a real valuable lesson in life. And just about the time he was standing his ground. Just about the time I got my hands on him, here comes his mom flying out the door. What's going on? Who are you? What's going on? So by this time, the little boy, had made it in the house and was crying. Well, she didn't know where the brother was that was abusing them, right? So she come out to see where the brother was, and she sees me coming at him, and we're both talking to each other, and she sees what's fixing to happen. So she comes running out, and she puts a stop to it. She stops me, and I'm like, listen, man, I don't even know y'all, but, you know, I can't tolerate a grown man like this. Turns out he's 23. He's 23 years old. I can't handle a grown man like this beating up on a little boy like that. I said, he's just a baby. Well, his excuse was he's just trying to make him tough. And I was like, all right. So I told him, I said, that's fine. He's your little brother. But if I see you doing it again, I'm not stopping. So, if I'm home, don't put your hands on him. Don't. Because if I hear it or see it, I'm coming after you, bub. I'm coming after you. Well, needless to say, this guy moves out I think it was about a week. Week later, he's gone. So years go by. These neighbors stay. I become friends with his mom, and this little 5-year-old boy ends up being one of my son's friends from the Trailerhood, and I watched this guy grow up. Literally watch him grow up all the way pretty much through high school and everything. And he becomes a MMA fighter, a diesel mechanic, and he's doing real good right now too. So great kid. But yeah, it's first one take him hunting. That was fun. But anyways, he's involved with the Scooter Bandit. So here's the deal with the Scooter Bandit. The Scooter Bandit is a guy that's I think he was in his mid 20s, maybe a little, maybe 27, 28. Now he lived in a trailer kind of catty corner above me. And he would come to my house and hang out because I played PlayStation and he played PlayStation. So we'd sit around and talk gaming stuff, and he would tell me all the crap that he was doing. I'm just one of them kind of guys. This guy, he would just, whatever happened that day when I got off work, he would come to my house and tell me what happened, okay? So, so I hear about the scooter. He's got him a scooter. He bought this little blue scooter. And it's one of the 49cc ones. So he don't have to get it licensed or nothing. Right. Well, he's been taking this scooter to Walmart and other stores. And he was stealing. He was going to these stores and stealing. And I also, you guys know I have a scanner. So sometimes late at night, I would hear on my scanner about a robbery that the someone just run out of Walmart. They'd stole a bunch of stuff, and all they seen was someone on a blue scooter. So, as soon as I hear that, I know for a fact who it is. It's this guy. Because he keeps bringing me all this cool stuff he's getting, right? New stuff from Walmart. Oh my goodness. So I call him the Scooter Bandit. Now, so far, no one snitched him out. No one knows he's the Scooter Bandit, right? He's hiding the scooter. He gets back in the trailer hood. He's parking that scooter behind his trailer where other trailers are blocking a view from multiple angles. You can't see it, right? It's hidden. Unless you get out and start walking in between the backside of the trailers, and then you'll see it. Well, I could see it when I went out and walked behind my shed. I could see the scooter. And I knew from my scanner that he was probably the scooter bandit. And that's why he was parking it there. So I wasn't going to rat him out. Wasn't going to rat him out. It's his own deal. Eventually he's going to get caught because you always get caught. Yeah, every time. So he goes stealing, stealing, stealing. Well, come to find out, he's taking some of the stuff that, like, he's stealing from one Walmart, and then he's going to another Walmart, in another town or whatever, and cashing it in, and then using that money to buy drugs. Well, I didn't know about this, and I didn't know he was doing drugs. Now, I'm not talking about reefer. I mean, he was doing drugs, like some kind of pills, and he had a bunch of stuff going on that I didn't even know about. Well, by this time, the boys, let me see, the kid next door that had the mean brother, he was, I think he was around 13 when this happened, which would have put my son at what, 11, 10, 11, something in there. So, anyways, I'm sitting on my couch, got home from work, sat down, turned my TV on, turned my PlayStation on. I'm fixing to get my groove on, play some PlayStation. In walks this boy. He just walks right in, which they always did. They just walked in. But whatever, here and there. When they knocked on the door, it'd make me nervous. So they just walk in. But when he come in, I noticed he didn't look right. Right away, I noticed something wasn't right. And I asked him, so what's wrong? What'd you do? Or did you take something? You don't look right. He's like, I don't know what happened. He said, I went over to so-and-so's trailer and was trying to get a doobie off of him, which he shouldn't have been doing either. And I got on to him for it. Trust me. After all this, I got on to him. But, boys. So anyways, he's like, I was trying to get a doobie, and he said he didn't have one that he could sell me, that he'd smoke one with me, but then he gave me a bunch of pills and told me if I really wanted to party, take these pills. He said, so I took them. I said, whoa. I said, what do you mean you took them? How many did you take? Do you know what they were? Oh my gosh, you know what I mean? So now I know this is serious. This is like a serious deal. So I get the kid and I bring him in. Well, he's just standing at my door, all loopy. I bring him over and I sit him down. Immediately I call 911. I let him know what's going on, that this boy's come in. He's obviously drugged on something. And the story he told me was someone gave him a handful of pills and he took them all. And so, right away they're on the way. So I'm asking him, I'm trying to figure out, was it Xanax? Was it Hydros, Oxys? What did you take? What kind of. He's like, I don't know. He didn't tell me what they was, but they was all different sizes and different colors. And I was like, oh man, this guy. So now I'm fired up. Here comes the ambulance. So let me explain. There's a fire station that's only about maybe a mile, mile and a half from the hood. And then the police station is only about 3 miles, 3.5 miles from the hood. So it takes them guys minutes. They're there within 5 minutes. They're there before I can get to my door because I'm fixing to go get a hold of old boy and put something on him Ajax can't get off. You hear what I'm saying? By the time I get to the door and go out the door, the ambulance is pulling up my driveway. The police are there. They come up. I tell them what's going on. The paramedics grab the kid, put him on a stretcher or a board, and they take him out put him on the bed, take him out, put him on that, put him in the ambulance. They're gone. Oh, Scooter Bandit, right up there at the end of my trailer. That cop said, hold on. Who? I said, the Scooter Bandit. I said, the guy on the blue scooter been robbing Walmart? And right then I realized, dang, I just ratted him out. But I was pretty mad, and honestly, I didn't care that I'd ratted him out. He took it too far. This was really stupid. So I tell the cops the Scooter Bandit, what's up with the Scooter Bandit? They're like, really? And so, so then he gets on his radio and he calls for backup. And right away, I know it's fixing to get a whole new scene, right? It's fixing to be chaotic. So right away, I start heading out the door. I get out the door. The cop's right behind me. He's following me. He's like, Mr. Cooper, what are you doing? Mr. Cooper, where are you going? I was like, oh, I was going to show you guys the Scooter Bandit's house. I'm going to show you the scooter. They're like, no, Mr. Cooper, it's all right. I was like, no, really. I said, I'm going to go up there and get him, and I'm going to bring him to you. I said, I'll be right back. They're like, no, Mr. Cooper, we're going to get him. You need to come back. I'm still walking, you guys. I'm fired up, man. I'm going to go get a hold of him. Because I know that I'm never going to get a chance to get my hands on this guy. I'm not, and I wanted to get my hands on him real bad, real bad. So what happens is I pretty much get detained. And if anybody, a lot of you guys probably know, some of you gals might even know too, the ones that like going to the bar or whatever. Some of y'all understand what detained is, okay? You're not necessarily arrested, but they do put the shiny silver bracelets on you that put you in a compromised position because now you can't defend yourself no matter what. You're compromised. So, anyways, I got detained, escorted back to my house, and was put on guard. Oh man, they left the cop sitting on my porch. Well, they come in on him deep, man, and I don't get to watch any of it because I was detained. Well, I wasn't detained no more, but I was locked in my house. So I was detained into my house. So they went and arrested him. They come back, they tell me that he's locked up. They took his scooter and put him in jail. And so then I call the hospital, check on this boy. Everything was fine. He did take some narcotics, I could say, I guess, prescription narcotics. But they pumped his stomach. Um, I don't think that they had to do much else. They just hooked him up on IVs, kept him hooked up, watch his heart and all. He was in there for a night and was out the next day. Okay. He was fine. So then he comes over and his mom and everybody, they're all, thanks, and blah, blah. And I was like, you know, we got to look out for each other in the hood. You know what I mean? These kids are the most important thing. We got to protect the kids. Got to watch out for these kids. And I got a lot of hood stories too, by the way, because my daughter, oldest daughter, actually married one of these little hood rats. And he was one of the ones that I was probably the hardest on. And I sure do love that guy. I do. So I'll tell you what, if I wouldn't have paid attention to him and I wouldn't have been on him and just constantly after him, then they wouldn't have felt no love at all. You know what I mean? And I loved all them boys, all of them, even the ones that was just real mean. I still loved them, and I still do. And I'm glad that every single one of them, as far as I know, is doing good. Every one of them's doing good. But I got some stories about them guys and teach them how to fight and all kinds of stuff. And they probably got some stories about me that I don't remember. But I'll be going on vacation this following week after you guys watch this. I'll be leaving the next day. And my son-in-law, Trey, is going. And he's going to do a bunch of fishing in the ocean. I'm going to try to stay away from that ocean. There's jellyfish and sharks and barracudas. There's a bunch of stuff in there that put the hurt on you. I'm going to look at it from a safe distance. Okay. So, but I got a feeling he might want to tell some stories. I don't know. I was pretty hard on him, but I remember them guys, they did a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. But I never gave up on them. I always kept an eye on them, even when they hated me for it. Had to. But yeah, I got some good ones. Even some kind of sketchy stories, with them boys. I got one where my wife goes walking out of the trailer with my shotgun. But that's what we call in the business foreshadowing, I think. I'll tell that story, and that's a good one. That happened right after I broke my wrist and my arms. But the thing is old boy ended up going to prison over that. And he didn't go to prison for being a scooter bandit. He went to prison for giving that boy them prescription narcotics. That's what he went to prison for. So, you know, scooter bandit stuff, I'm pretty sure what do they call that? Dismissed those charges so they could stick him with the more serious charges. But, anyways, I didn't see that guy for a long time. And when he did finally get out of prison, I was still living there and he did come see me and he apologized. So that worked out all right. But here's something I gotta say, and I'm telling everybody, no matter what's going on, you're not alone. No matter what. Okay? Somebody's always there watching, just like I was watching them boys all the time. All the time had my eye on them. And when I was gone at work, there was other parents watching them and calling me and telling me what they was doing. So they didn't get by with nothing, and I mean nothing. Which reminds me about when they all got BB guns for Christmas. But I never gave up on them. I'd give them a talk, and then I'd squatch it. And I'd just keep on keeping on. Don't never feel like no one's there for you. There's thousands of people out there for you. You've got friends and family, I promise you, that are thinking about you right now and want to help you if you'll just reach out to them. And if you don't want to burden your friends and your family, call 988, talk to a stranger, let them get you on the path to getting help. And if you don't want to do that, say a prayer. I promise you, because I know for a fact that's what I do. I don't like to burden my family with most of my problems or any of my problems or my friends. So I do a lot of praying. Then I sit back and wait. And eventually, something happens that brings me out of whatever slump or depression I'm in. Alright, whether it be somebody shows up or, I see something outside or on TV and I get a message somehow. Okay, so that's not your gig, call 988. But talk to somebody. Don't give up. No matter what, don't give up. I love you guys. God bless everyone. Peace.
The fire's burning low tonight, stars are shining big and bright. Thanks for watching, thanks for staying, we'll see you on another day. Bring your bow, bring your smile, we'll meet you somewhere down another the woodland mile.